Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to EA Tetragrammaton, where we are playing This is turn 101! Fucking Christ, this game's going. Okay. We're gonna jump right into things and see how it goes. Bunch of stuff going on. Thaumaturgy 9 has been completed. Woo! On our way up to Evocation. Evocation 6 has been completed. Woo! On our way up to 7. And ultimately 9. Gudu 83 has summoned some Kusarikus, and then has been attacked by the Maker of Ruins. This is actually a new horror that we have yet to see before, but this guy is super cool. This is Scabiel, the Maker of Ruins. He is very rare. I think I've only seen him like once or twice in any game, aside from this time. So, Scabiel, the Maker of Ruins, is a doom horror, an astral being that feeds on emotions of suffering, lamentation, and fear. Maker of Ruins has emerged in the world several times in history and wreaked havoc and leveled all the cities of entire continents. It has strangely distorted perceptions and will primarily attack being previously marked by astral magic. So, this guy is super thick, thicky, icky, 222 health, super crazy strong. He has 520 siege strength. Got a 500 fucking bonus, so it'll siege the shit out of things. Very high attack, super high protection, 35 base protection, 22 base magic resistance. Very, very strong. 15 fear, it's aquatic, it doesn't care where the fuck you are. It has fate weaving, 18. Oh my god, it eats 800 population, causes 40 unrest. This guy is a nightmare incarnate. He has 4 horror claws that are armor negating and hit for 45 damage each at 20 attack value. And got this fucking thing, and this thing is super cool. He's got Tremor, okay? It's 7 base damage, armor piercing. The strength is not added, so you don't have to worry about that freaking horrible high strength. And defense negates it. It doesn't affect flying or floating unit. But it has a massive AoE of 25, and it will Tremor stun you. So Tremor stun is basically just a stun that can be negated by large or very strong beings, or by very high defense, and it is absurdly large. So we're gonna watch this guy. I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying that this is not going to go well for our little Gudu. So Iron Warriors. This guy walks up and he goes boom. Now, in fairness, I think this was actually a bunch of different attacks. Keep in mind, each of these horror claws hits for 45. So that's what a lot of this stuff was. It wasn't, but it all coincides with the Tremor, so it looks like he just goes pop and anyways. Also, I love this model, right? Take a look at this model a little bit. He's got 4 legs in the back, right? He's got a total of 8 legs, but the way the model looks is it causes these front 2 legs to not always look like legs necessarily, right? But this is actually his head. It's a very small head. He's like this weird beetle. These are legs, these are 2 back legs, these are 2 back legs, these are 2 front legs, and then these are the other 2 front legs that are like drawn forward so that you can actually like see where they're at. You know? It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oof. Jeez. That thing. This is one of the most terrifying creatures in existence. He's pretty absurd. Goodness gracious. Alright, anyways. I wonder if you can wish for that guy. That would be pretty fucking intense. Okay, Auspex got us nothing. We did some more Kusarikus, Curse of Blood. Got us another Vampire. I don't know. Auspex nothing. Voice of Apsu nothing. Flame Spirit. And then we got attacked by a Defiler of Dreams. Alright, so Defiler of Dreams. Fortunately, Defiler of Dreams isn't super thicky. They just have very good defensive stats because of their invisibility and ethereal. But they're up against a whole bunch of Kusarikus who have magic weapons and decent attack stats. So, and this is a full complement, by the way. Like, he got all 10 of his Kusarikus in here. So, they're gonna surround and then just chop chop. Or poke poke, I guess. No more, nothing. Voice of Apsu actually found a Weeping Stone over here in Thorn Woods. So, +1 water gem. Cool. Growth found 6 Blood Slaves in Pangea, and then our 5 Blood Hunters in Tessifon. So the slave hunt is actually facing heavy opposition, and the hunting has become very difficult, meaning that we've hit over 100, which is interesting. I'd assume that we would not be hitting that much, because we have a bunch of Pegasus Riders, and Pegasus Riders actually have good patrol strength, 2.2. So I'm not really sure why they are getting unable to really patrol this down. But whatever, we'll figure it out. And then we've got more horror attacks. Leper Love was attacked by a Defiler of Dreams. Another Defiler, and Leper Love got the bad end of the stick, right? It's always a crapshoot. Is the horror gonna blink directly on top of you, or are they gonna blink onto your guards? Is what it is. We've got Ishib 34 was attacked. He's not protected. Oh, he was protected, but still. Gudu 154 also not protected. Killed by Defiler of Dreams. Lost some Gudus in marching. Or lost some units in marching, rather. And then we have some battles. And we got the message! We've got the message! Which, if you haven't played... a lot of Dominions, the message is if you get a message from the AI, it is either one of two things. It is either a declaration of war, and we're already at war, or it's a, you killed my god, we hate you. And this is the, you killed our god, this war will not end! Alright. But let's watch Sayedica first. Because this, as we can see, this is an attack from Lanka, just a base vampire lord, against, this is against Hinam. So, Plague Tongue casts Soul Vortex, and he's gonna spam out some Horde of Skeletons. So, pretty typical. And at this point, he's hit the fatigue cap, so he's gonna do some choice spells every time he unfatigues. Good thing about Vampire Lords is that they are immortal, so if they die, you can just get them back. They have very high base invulnerability, so non-magic weapons have a very hard time doing anything to them. They have blunt and slash resistance, that helps. They naturally have regeneration, that helps. They have flying, so they're very high movement, and they're stealthy. Vampire Lords are like some of the best out of the gate, just good raiders. Also, with death magic, they can do things like Soul Vortex, which helps keep them healthy and helps take fatigue off if they get surrounded. But also, they can just Horde of Skeleton spam. So it makes them incredibly efficient raiders. Just incredibly efficient raiders. Because, like, the chance of them dying to, like, an archer, really low. Really, really low. The chance of them getting overwhelmed by a base, like a normal 6 PD or something like that, super duper unlikely, right? It's just, and if you lose them, right, you have to put 0 gear into them to be an effective raider. So if you lose them, you're not losing any gear or any investment like that. But also, if you lose them, you're not actually losing them unless they get soul slayed, because they're immortal, so they're just going to come back. But this is, we can see Lanka has started the attack on, we'll take a look at that. Actually, let's go ahead and watch the one in the wetlands too. And we'll do the Mictlan battle last. So this is a Dakini. So Dakinis are very strong thugs. They can be kitted out very, very well. They've got great paths, right? Air magic is fantastic, and death magic is also fantastic in the right scenario. You can do things like Soul Vortex with these Daikinis. You have to give this one like a gem. But then you can do things like Mist Form and Flight, and stuff like that. Actually, I think they already have flying, but whatever. And they've got a bunch of attacks. They're really cool. Fucking awesome. This one has some interesting gear. We've got Fear, we've got a Vine Shield, so it'll be hard to actually get into this thing. Not a whole lot of protection on this one. Going kind of the shock resistance route and the attack skill route. Interesting. Bunch of reinvigoration. Cool. Let's see how this goes. This is up against just base. You know, real well, that's what it's. So the Blessing is going to take care of a lot of the missing components here. Because Lanka's Bless is pretty thick. Shock resistance, fire resistance, some increased defensive skill, more reinvigoration, regeneration, importantly, and blood surge will help make the Daikini even killier once they actually get a kill. So that's pretty good. Blessing into air shield, really? That seems surprising. Oh, we're just casting. Mist Form, Sermon of Courage. Yeah, that seems strange. It doesn't matter, though. This Daikini is like... Now, the Avite Commander hits hard enough that he could pop the Mist Form if he was successful in hitting, but he's unlikely to hit. Ignoring the routing penalty, he's got a swamp penalty, so he would be sitting at 11. With the broadsword is a +1, so 12 for attack versus a 20 skill Daikini, or 20 defense skill Daikini and a Vine Shield. So it's very unlikely that he's actually gonna hit. Also, they've got damage reversal because they're dope. There's just so much happening with the Daikini. They're just really strong. All right, so that's another attack on Hinam, and then let's watch the battle in Mictlan. Alright, so we've got our generalized squad. We know what we're doing. Bunch of buffs, bunch of elemental summons. We are up against some Nohualis. We are up against Smoking Mirror. We are up against some Moon Priests. And we are up against some Turkeys, which are just Nohualis that have already turned into turkeys. Really, the only one fucking Harrion is this homeboy, Smoke and Mirror. So let's see what they do. We know what we do. Let's see what they do. Whole bunch of body ethereal and a Stygian skin. Okay. We get a demon cleansing out from us. Or body ethereal, luck, personal luck, wooden warriors, iron skin. So it's the AI. So the AI is just doing the, oh, we're going to buff all the things. Does a raise dead. And now we have our stuff up. So now they're going to, they're going to start dealing with wolves. They've got a bunch of mind burns coming out. They're going to deal with elementals now. They're going to deal with light thunder strikes. Oh, these elementals don't give a shit about their body ethereal either. So this is gonna go real quick. Oh, and that pop on Ozzy Osbourne immediately from this fucking water elemental and I think the air elemental pushing him just forced him into Jaguar form. And then the other air elemental forced him all the way over here and he just got slammed. So Ozzy Osbourne is no more. I don't even care. I don't even care if I lose now. It's fucking done. Ah, thank God. Astral corruption is done. Ugh. Okay, cool. Nice. Battle with Mictlan. We lost nothing. We killed all but one Nahwali. Smoking Mirror has fallen. Also, important to note, we did get a Starshine Skullcap, meat, and a Robe of the Magi. That's a nice pickup. I talked about this, I think, previously. Whoever killed Smoking Mirror had a chance of getting some pretty nice shit. He had a Robe of the Magi, Thorn, Bloodthorn Dagger, Starshine Skullcap, a Crystal Coin, and a Ring of Wizardry. Would have been really nice to also pick up that Ring of Wizardry, but I'll take one. Now, Mictlan's god is dead. Mictlan is AI, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so other stuff. We have lost some people in Delufe, and some of them have thrown themselves into Blood Vortex. Don't really give a shit. We've gained a Sword of Swiftness in Terrace Peaks. Very cool. Some Barbarian Scouts have been caught and interrogated in Simri. Simri has defense 20, so hopefully we will be okay. The only thing is it's not very good steer. We've got javelins though, so maybe what? Just go out here. We'll just go out here with some peeps. It's fine. It's fine. We'll protect our land. Be good rulers. Protect our land. All right, and in the womb, we got a group of zealots to join. So over here with Bone 6, we've got just a group of zealots hanging out. Sweet. All right. Let me go pick them up with Elder 26. Forgot about them. More deadly diseases. I don't really care anymore. Because he's fucking dead. Gift of health is going up. Fuck it. Okay, so let's take this in stride. Let's talk about all of the different things. You can see there's a lot more movement. We've kind of exploded into action now. First and foremost, though, let's talk about the board state. Mictlan is all but dead. There's just Trot Turn and Black Harbor left, and Verdant Step. Sorry. We can see on the map, right? All of a sudden, there are a whole shit ton of attacks from Lanka against Hinam. Lanka has just unleashed what we have talked about for ages: the fear of what Lanka can do with just 1,000 thugs. It basically did to Hinam. So, Hinam spoke to me, has been speaking to everyone for a while, and the player had proffered the idea some time ago that when Mictlan was dealt with, everyone has a 3-turn piece, right? So that the people that have really been investing into dealing with Mictlan, mostly me and him, right, can reorient themselves, and then we all just fucking go to town, right? Do whatever we gotta do to win. Done and done, okay? And I was amenable to that idea. Lanka did not seem interested in that idea, and very fair, right? I have no qualms against their decision, but it is clear that they have decided not to agree to that idea. There was never any diplomacy about it or anything like that, so this isn't them breaking any diplomacy. However, Hinam did contact me this turn and say, hey, this is the situation. Lanka has unleashed on me. Do you still want to do the 3-turn thing? If not, I understand. That's basically what the player said. So I told them, I said, here's the thing, right? I would prefer to stick to the arrangements because I think they're fun arrangements, and I think that, having those types of agreements and arrangements builds a good community, right? If everyone always feels like it's super cutthroat and everyone's out to get each other all the time, blah, 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 constant backstabbing, etc., that kind of leads to, in my opinion, it's not necessarily true, but it kind of leads, in my opinion, to community that's more prone to elitism and toxicity. So I try to foster discussions and negotiations and agreements and things like that. I'm almost always more willing for that type of stuff. So I said to Hinam, do you think you are going to be able to fight against Lanka, or are you going to get overwhelmed? Right? Because if you are going to be able to fight against them, I would rather stick to our 3-turn agreement. And then we'll see how things play out. But if you feel like you're going to be overwhelmed, I don't want to give Lanka 3 turns of just kicking your ass and then have to deal with a super-powered Lanka, right? And Hinam's response was basically, they've got they didn't say one way or the other necessarily, but they posed it like this. Lanka has a lot of thugs, and Hinam is probably going to lose a lot of territory. But Hinam has much better super combatants, much better geared super combatants, that are going to be able to win those fights, right? So he postulated that, or they postulated that it would be likely that they would lose a lot of land, but be able to continue fighting the game, and they'd have to see, who takes victories where, and how those victories are important, etc., etc. And to me, that sounds like, okay, then you feel like you're going to be able to fight. That's a fighting chance. Let's stick to our 3-turn agreement. So that is the state of the board for me, right? Currently, I am in a 3-turn basic nap with Hinam. So it would be turn 104 before we could declare attacks on Hinam, right? And I have nothing standing with Lanka. Now, I will also say, probably 20 or so turns ago, when all this kind of began of the fuck it, let's attack Mictlan type scenario, Lanka reached out to me and was like, hey, look, after this is done, do you want to just attack Hinam together? And I was like, yeah, I'm probably interested in that. So I'm hopeful that Lanka is going to just attack Hinam and not want to come after me. Because our overall goal is probably going to end up being prepping for 3 turns and then still attacking Hinam, right? We will probably also attack Lanka, because why not spread the wealth? But the plan will probably be to try to go for a throne win. We have 3, 6, 9, 11 points. We need 17 to win, right? This is the golden throne. Oops, sorry. So this is the golden throne, which is 2 points. That would put us up to 13. This is... I don't know which one this is. Shit, my bad. I don't know which one this is. Shit, my bad. And I don't know which one this is. Shit, my bad. Hold that thought, though. We know that... Do we know which one this is? This is the Crystal Throne. You know what? We can figure this out by just targeting... Which throne is this one? We'll figure it out. So, this is the Crystal Throne. This is the Throne of Abundance. We know he only has 3 thrones, right? 1, 2, 3. So this is the Throne of the Earth. Okay? So, this being the Golden Throne, right, would put us up to... and this was the point, right? This being the Golden Throne is going to put us up to 2. The Throne of the Earth being another 2. So we'd go from 11 to 13. From 13 to 15. So it's basically irrelevant. It doesn't matter which thrones we take. We just have to take at least 3 thrones. Okay? So if we can get, for example, the Mictlan army back over here to Pangaea and then attack White Forest, if we can reinforce the Kailasan army and attack Raphabolia, right? And if we can create basically an army and attack Sleepy Wolds, then that could be the end of the game. And maybe we send a Trackless Waste army up to own just as like a secondary, or maybe we also send an army to Realm of Silence. Who the fuck knows, right? Maybe we hedge our bets and we attack 15 different scenarios. I don't know. But the point is I would assume that the game's probably going to be over within the next 15 turns, because, well, because either we're going to win, or Lanka's going to obliterate Hinam, and then they're going to obliterate us. In theory, right? Or Relay will rise. No, okay. Now, who knows? Maybe Relay will rise from the depths. Anyways, okay. So I've been postulating about what's going on for a while. So let's talk about what's actually happening this turn. We are moving the entire Mictlan army. We don't care about Mictlan. We're moving the Mictlan army to fucking Traturn. We're heading back towards Pangaea. Okay, that's the overall goal. We are moving a bunch of people around. If I missed something, I apologize, but mainly we're moving a large portion of the forces from Carrion, about 100-ish units, 80 to 100 units, down towards Kailasa. This is in an effort to reinforce the Kailasan garrison, so that the Kailasan garrison can move towards Raphabolia, okay? In theory, right? Other forces are holding in Pangaea. We are moving all of our elemental shamans into various locations to be able to make sure that most of our places have access to things like mass regeneration or army of lead or gold, right? Those being the two key things. As long as everyone has access to army of lead and gold and mass regeneration, we're mostly okay-ish, right? So we want to move a lot of Ishams around to Monarch Woods, to Agartha, to Hall Woods, moving a bunch of people down to Pangaea. We're moving a bunch of Enkidu shamans from Operi to Carrion, and furthermore down to Kailasa, ultimately. So that's a bunch of stuff going on. We've seen this. We're moving NC-14 out to try to protect Simri, but we're also sending some flames out in order to try to add some fire into the mix on a couple of different individuals. We're going to go pick up those flagellants in Agartha, and then we are actually sending a Gudu underwater here to potentially build a lab next turn, because we might go in. We're getting pretty close with evocation. We might go in to the water and cast Maelstrom. If we want to. We got plenty of gems. So let's talk about, you can see we have almost no nature gems. We have almost no earth gems. What are we doing this turn? And we have we have significantly less astral gems. So I'm not going to cover every single one of these, but we are across the entirety of our empire doing a whole bunch of gnome lore, auspex, arcane probing, and a little bit of horror specs, okay? Why? Why am I doing that? It's not a good reason. It is a very bad reason. It's an obsessive compulsion that when I look at a place, it doesn't have all the freaking nines. And it drives me insane. So that's the real reason. So let's talk about the fake reason. The fake reason is I do not think Kailasa had the opportunity to really site search for everything ultimately, and I think we're going to maybe find a decent amount of sites down here in the Kailasan lands. I think Pangaea probably searched for the vast majority of things, but we are double checking just to make sure, and I don't know about Yomi. So the hope is, right, in some of these is to push up. We're spending a lot of gems, but we're trying to push our income up to a higher portion so that every turn we have enough of an income to just be able to lace into certain things. Now we have a shit ton of fire gems, we have a shit ton of water gems. Even doing, oh, we're also doing a bunch of Voice of Apsu. Even doing a lot in that, we still have massive amounts in those. That's not going to change. And we have a crazy amount of death gems. That's not going to change. But if we can luck out and get some more nature gems, some more astral pearls, especially, we are arcane probing the shit out of things. We're spending like, I don't know, 50 gems in arcane probing. So if we can get up to 30 astral pearls, because keep in mind, there's a difference between 20 astral pearls per turn means we can get an Apkalu every 3 turns. 30 astral pearls means we can get it every 2 turns. That adds up. That adds up really fucking quick. So that's kind of the goal that we're going there. Same thing with like earth gems, same things with like air gems. What else are we doing with all these gems? Not all of these gems disappeared in site searching, okay? We are casting Gift of Health. So we're casting Gift of Health with a whole shit ton of gems. I think 350 is where we actually put that at. Gift of Health is extremely important for us to get up and to keep up. If we lose this Gift of Health, that's not to say that we lose the game necessarily, but if we lose this Gift of Health, it's gonna be really shitty for us. So, we're putting up Gift of Health, and we're hoping that it does not get dispelled. We're hoping that no one is gonna... We're hoping that everyone is too interested in getting their own globals up, and too interested in the idea of trying to get a bunch of late game shit immediately, right? Trying to do things like wishes and shit like that, right? Hopefully, we will be able to keep Gift of Health, and that'll do wonders for us if we are able to. We are also tossing up a very low-cost Mother Oak, primarily because if we can keep it, that's going to be really beneficial for us in the long term. I say the long term, but the payoff is only 5 turns, right? Like, it only takes 5 turns to pay that shit off. And having an extra quarter more per turn is pretty big. We're also doing a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Most of this is in but I will say, and we're not going to cover every single one that we do, but we are making quite a few water bracelets. I think water bracelets are some hidden power. We do have a lot of water gems. Having a bunch of Ishibs that are able to do, that are able to have water bracelets and water lenses really does increase their efficiency. And at this point in the late game, there are some interesting things that we can do. We can do things like Falling Frost, aside from water elementals. We know we can do water elementals. Water elementals are strong. But we can do other things. We can do Falling Frost, which actually, if you have 10, 20 Ishibs, Frost is one of the least prepared for resistances in the game, okay? If you have 10 to 20 Ishibs towards your front lines ready to cast Falling Frost a couple times, this has a 5 AoE, right? And it does 17 damage. That's not nothing. You can actually it's no Gift of Hell, or not Gift of Health, a Gift from the Heavens, right? But it's kind of like a mini version of that, and it'll punch through some people. It'll punch through lines, right? We are also going up to do other things, though. So we can do stuff like Ice Strike, which actually is not bad because it explodes, and it doesn't care about cold resistance, okay? So that's a pretty interesting ability. And then if we get super high into things, we can actually go the route of like casting Nephil Flames on a bunch of people. Now this does take more boosting. This takes like having Robes of the Sea on people, but Nephil Flames can fuck some shit up. It's got a massive AoE. It'll do some crazy shit. However, there's a bunch of other stuff that we can do that we haven't really been doing. Even if it's just as simple as, here we go, Frozen Heart spam, okay? And Frozen Heart, here's oh, it only takes 1 water. Frozen Heart's actually really good because it's armor negating, it's 100 precision, and it's low fatigue cost. If you get a bunch of, again, if you get another 10, 20 Ishibs that are all water 3 because they have water bracelets, right? This suddenly becomes a 35 range cast with 14 armor negating damage. At 100 precision, that's pretty good. Like, again, 10 to 20 Ishibs can just go on someone and just fucking murder them. Like, it's pretty nice. So, we can also get into liquefy, right? There's a lot that we can do. There's a lot on the table for late game water. And I think because we have so much in the way of water gems, that's a power point that we're going to want to exploit. Okay? So that's why we're making a bunch of water bracelets all over the place. And then in we're doing a whole bunch of particular things. So we'll go over it. We're making a flame helmet with flame 1. He's got a sword of many colors right now to boost him. This is because we have a shit ton of fire gems, but we don't have a good guaranteed way. We could get lucky on some tarts, but we have no good guaranteed way to boost ourselves up in flame. So what we're going to do is we're going to sword of many colors into a flame helmet. We're going to put that flame helmet on this flame spirit, and next turn we are probably going to try to summon a king of elemental fire, because it's possible that other people are using the Kings of Elemental Fire already, but I haven't seen anything. I don't have a crazy amount of scout coverage. We've got a big block missing, right? But I haven't seen any of them in anything. So I have a sneaking suspicion that we might get lucky and get one. And if we don't, there's 50 gems out of our 350. I don't really give a shit, right? So that's something that we're going to do. We're also going to continue to summon flame spirits because we can put flame spirits into different locations throughout our territory and do more augury, but also we can add them into the mix for a couple of different fire options. Fire's just not going to do a crazy amount for us at this current point in time. However, having enough people in place to do something like, and we can show right here, we can already boost with a sword of many colors and a flame helmet. We can make a couple of flame helmets. We can't make a couple of sword of many colors, but we could we could make a ring of wizardry and toss that on some people, right? Don't we already have? No, we don't have one. Oh, we also have our robe of the magi that we can float around now. So we've got ways to boost into Fire 5, and once we hit Fire 5 or hit the ability to boost to Fire 5, we want a Flame Spirit everywhere, so that once we hit the ability to boost to Fire 5, we can just flames from the sky from almost any location in our territory. And we absolutely want to be able to do that. Flames from the sky can help obliterate late game armies. In fact, when we march on Sleepy Wolds, which we probably will, we're probably going to flames from the sky that bitch like once or twice before we do so. Because in a single turn, 30 fucking fire damage is intense. And it'll fucking obliterate armies of Soulless or Long Dead or shit like that. Absolutely destroy them. So we're working towards that already with our going up evocation. Plenty of time to get there, so no worries. We just got to prep for it. So we're going to be moving people around, moving some flame spirits around the territories in order to do that. So that will be fun. We are also... Actually, I want to send a guy up here. I don't want him. This guy's doing augury. And this... Actually, she's doing... So why don't I send... Got one going... Why don't I send... that should be fine. Okay, we are doing another Apkallu. We talked about this previously. Why are we doing this? We're doing Apkallus because we've got a bunch of communions around the entirety of our empire. We've got a communion coming back from Mictlan. We've got a communion in Kailasa. We've got a communion in Trackless Waste. We're basically building another communion in So having an Apkallu available to those communions basically just means master and slave, right? It means whatever we want it to mean with all of these fucking paths, but the thing that really means it is it means master and slave. So it means throwing master and slave into the mix and being able to be like, hey, there's a chance I take half your army. Great, fantastic, wonderful. All right. So that's why we're going to do Apkallus, and that's why we're interested in getting up to 30 Astral Pearls rather than saving the kind of chunk that we have. Okay? We're doing Tartarian Gate. Obviously, unfortunately, we're only doing one because we did lose Leper Love this turn. He's not permanently dead. He'll come back, but he's horror marked just like our god, so at any given turn, he'll probably die. Honestly, when Leper Love gets back, Kamul's going to be probably doing Tartarian Gate every single turn for the rest of the game. When Leper Love comes back, probably, if he survives, I will take a turn to summon another Lich. And then with that Lich, I will probably summon a handful of other Liches, and then start boosting those Liches. And some of them, like one or two of them, will start doing things like Tartarian Gates, but the others will probably go start doing other shit. Because there's plenty of other great death things that we can do. Getting a souped up Lich ready and available to do Undead Mastery in any of our armies would be really good, right? It's basically master and slave, but for the undead. If we're facing Lanka, that could be a lot of undead. Hinam, less so, but still a lot of the undead. And then, what's the other great one? Here it is, Life After Death. So, another great option for just boosting up an entire army, especially we've got these big, 200, 300, 400 stack armies of living units. We throw this out there, all friendly units have a second chance to live. It's fucking great. Love it. Wonderful. Absolutely awesome. So we've got a lot of options, and we've got a lot of death gems, so that's going to be something that we focus on over the course of time. Doing another Robe of the Sea. We are spending some of our earth gems on Dwarven Hammers and Earth Boots. So we don't have all of the Earth Boots. We don't have the massive Dwarven Hammers that we used to have. We have lost them over time due to astral corruption. So this is a lot of people are going to be like, this is stupid. Like the site searching stuff is stupid. The Dwarven Hammer stuff, that's stupid. Here's the thing though. I do not need a crazy amount of Earth Gems right now. In a single turn, I can supply all of my armies with the earth gems that I need. Like all the shit that I've been doing with Mictlan, like the earth elementals and stuff like that, I do not need that. I do not need that. You know how many earth gems I need in each army? I need 3. I need 3 earth gems in each army. For Army of Lead. That's it. I don't need more than that. That's it. That's all I need in every army. Is it nice to have access to more? Yes, absolutely. However, if this game goes longer, this game is already incredibly long, but if it doesn't work out, right? If the plan doesn't work out and we are not able to take 3 thrones in the next 10 to 15 turns, and we do find ourselves in this locked-in battle with Lanka, or if Hinam's able to throw Lanka back, and then we're in a 3-way battle, or Relay rises from the sea and starts giving all of us trouble, like actually starts making issues for me and for Lanka, and we don't know what's going to happen in the game. So we want to prep for every contingency. And one of the ways we prep for contingencies is to invest in the future. And yeah, it's 101 turns in the game, but the future could be 20, 30, 40 turns down the road where we have 10 to 15 dwarven hammers, and we're using those hammers every turn to make gear sets for multiple Tartarians, for like at that point we could be wishing things every fucking turn, who knows, right? The site searching and the forging investments are just that. They're investments in the future. And bear in mind, I'm not wasting things that I can't afford to waste, right? These aren't turns that I can't afford to waste, and these aren't gems that I can't afford to waste. That's specifically why it's okay that it's Earth, right? Because I'm not gonna make a crazy use out of all the Earth gems. I need a crazy amount of air gems. I do actually need a fairly crazy amount of astral gems, but that's okay. We have a good amount of astral gems. I do actually need a crazy amount of nature gems. That's okay. We have a good amount of nature gems coming in every turn. We'll survive, and we're trying to invest towards that. So, before everyone crawls up my ass about the massive amount of Earth gems that I'm spending, and the concept that I'm trying to invest in the future for a game that's already 101 turns in, I don't know what's going to happen. So, to my mind, it's worth making sure that our land is site searched, that we're getting all that we can out of it, and that we're being efficient with the forging and casting that we do end up doing. Okay? Is there anything else that's happening here? We've gone over the Gift of Health, the Mother's Oak, Earth Boots, Dwarven Hammers, Tartarian Gates, Apkalu. That's pretty much it, I think. So right now we have Well of Misery up. There are 6 slots open. We are going to try for 2 of them, Gift of Health and Mother Oak. If we are lucky, we will get both of ours up. So when you do the big ritual castings, when you do globals, the order is randomized, right? It is possible that we end up getting Mother Oak up, and then like Mother Oak's one of the first ones, and then someone else ends up overriding Mother Oak. It's possible that a bunch of globals go up, and then Mother Oak's one of the last ones to go up, and there aren't any more slots, and we haven't put enough points into it, so it can't override someone else. And anything in between, right? Gift of Health, I'm relatively confident in. I am pretty sure that Gift of Health is going to go up, and it is going to beat anything that it goes up against, probably. That's not necessarily true, though, because just like me, I'm assuming Lanka and Hinam have been saving a lot of gems. I'm just hoping that, my amount of nature gems is pretty fucking beastly compared to some of the stuff that they were doing. So, it's possible that Gift of Health doesn't work out for us. If Gift of Health doesn't work out for us, it is not the end of the game. We do not immediately lose. However, it will drastically alter what our game plan is. Basically, Tartarians are going to be out the window, and we're immediately going to start summoning mass amounts of liches. We're going to summon a lich, and then the following turn, summon 2 liches, and the following turn, summon 4 liches, and so it's gonna be just an immediately like, oh shit, get all of the liches, go. Because we have to be able to counter Lanka's capability, and one of the easier ways that we can do that is with something. If we can't do tarts, because tarts are mega beat sticks. If we can't do tarts, then liches just kind of like, they're like vampire lords, right? And we're going to continue to do vampire lords. I think this is the only other thing that we might need to talk about that we haven't talked about. Tesiphon is fucked. So we're moving some vampire lords into Kun Aral, and we're actually moving Gravechill down towards Kailasa. Again, that concept of maybe sneaking a life after death caster into an army, etc., that kind of idea. So, this is a super long turn. I apologize for it going crazy long, but there's so much going on now. Like I said, as soon as Astral Corruption goes down, boom, the floodgates go open. Lanka immediately attacks Hinnom. We are just a flurry of activity, moving all over the place, prepping all over the place, making plans, trying to put things into action. And over the course of the next 10 to 15 turns, I do expect the game to end. Or if it doesn't actually end, if no one wins directly in the next 10 to 15 turns, I kind of anticipate that people throw in the towel, right? That in the next 10 to 15 turns, either someone will win, or it will be pretty clear that this game is either going to take 200 turns, or someone is going to win. It's just gonna take a little bit longer. Like there's a possibility, like, in 10 to 15 turns, Lanka hasn't won, but they have thugs everywhere, and there's no real way for us to respond to them. You know? And when I say us, I mean Hinnom, me, and Relay. So, there's that possibility. But I think most likely the game is done in 10 to 15 turns, and we see how it goes. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.